Hey y'all, come on in. Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to try to answer that viewer's question there that requested that I demonstrate how to terminate a double loop stitch in leather. Oh, okay. I've got a wallet kit here that I'm getting ready to complete. This is for me. This one's not really any good to sell to a customer or to give to anybody else. So my other wallet just turned 26 years old and it's getting to be more broke out now than it is broke in. So I just kind of playing around with it and decided to make me a new one. You see here what happened. Maybe straight across the top up here. If you look down here at the bottom, come across, then we take this dip that comes up right here. When they cut these blanks that come in these kits, they'll cut several of them and pre-punch several of them at a time. So every so often you're going to get one like this. You can see where I didn't really realize it until I started the pattern. I started all of it down here. But then when I got down into this area here, I started noticing that the basket weave wanted to start climbing. And I started looking at my borderline down here that I used from the edge. Noticed that it started climbing. So then I get into here, right in this area here. You can see these lines are straight. So, but we're running out of room. That's all because of this right here. It's just something for you to keep in mind, something to watch for. But this is for me. There's no way I would attempt to even sell it or give it to somebody, unless it was somebody that just wanted a new wallet to hold their stuff and didn't care how it looked. That's the only way I would do that. But anyway, I hope y'all can understand now. It's been over a year since I last did a basket weave or a double loop stitch. So I got the instructions out on how to finish it out of the kit that come with the kit, and realizing that thinking back to the viewer's request, they're not really all that clear. So I've got to relearn how to do this. When you start getting older, your memory is just not what it used to be. So anyway, let's get into it. I've got this double loop stitch all the way up here. Here's my starting point right here. Here's the last hole that I just went through. Now something I want y'all to realize, you beginners out there, when you start off, especially when you're stitching two pieces of leather together, do not pull this stitch down very hard. I pull it down snug, maybe even leave it a little bit loose. The reason being is you work your way around that project, you got to get these two pieces of material used to the idea that they're going to be spending years attached to each other. Like I said, my other wallet just turned 26 years old. So what I'll do when I start it, I'll come in, I don't know, a couple of inches or so or something like that, and then I'll just start working it. I'll just start flexing it. Just get those two pieces of leather used to the idea that they're going to be spending a lot of time attached to each other. Because if you don't do that, when you get down here to get ready to end it, And I'm thinking back to years ago when I used to do it quite a bit. When I first started, I'd get all the way down here to the finish, and I'd have a gap in here. Now this hadn't been finished yet, we're fixing to do that. But I'd notice my stitches, instead of standing straight up, if you pull them too tight, you're going to want to start leaning back to where you're pulling. And you get up here to finish it, even if you finish that stitch the way it's intended to be done, you're still going to have a gap. It's not going to close up, and it's not going to finish out the way it should. So leave your stitch. Over time, as you work it, they get used to being around each other. Then all of these stitches will settle in, they'll self-align, and they'll tighten up on their own. And then you'll have a really good product. But do not pull that lace down tight, because it will come back to bite you. So, okay, that being said, let's get into this. Now we're going to go up here to, let's see, let's start at step 14 and just walk our way through this and see if we can figure this out. When you have laced to the starting point, use a modeling stylus, just a modeling tool. Got a little spoon on one end. I have several of them, but it's got a point on the other end. Use modeling stylus to pull the end of the beginning lace free of the stitches. So let's do that. That's going to be step one. And this may be a little bit tough to do. I'm trying to do this looking through the camera. But you want to just work that. I want to make sure all of this stays in the camera where you can see it. Oh, come on. As they start to settle in. Let me pull that out of there. All right, so we got that end pulled out of there now. It'll be very long. Now then, let's see what it tells us to do. Where'd we start? Step 14, we pulled it out of there. Now then, step 15, from the back side, pull the end of the lace out of the slit. Let's go ahead and take a look at step 16 though. I think this is where people start getting confused. When it tells you to pull it out of the slit, what you're talking about here is you only pull it halfway through. You do not pull it all the way through to the interior. So let's do that. We're going to pull it out to here. Is that right? Maybe you do. Like I said, I haven't done this in over a year, so we're figuring this out together. All right, so we've got that pulled through. All right, now we've got that pulled through.
Yes.
Step 16. On the front side, pull the end of the lace out of the loop. Okay, here's our loop. I'll see where they're going with it now. That should get your loop open. Okay, so we now have it out of the loop. Okay, now right here in step 17 is where you pull it up through the middle, maintaining your loop. So let's do that. Rosie, I need where your foot is. Got a cat laying on the table. Alright, so let me get this where y'all can see it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come in between the liner and the outer layer. Now you got to hold on to this loop or it'll pull it through because there's no pressure on it, or there's no tension on it now. You see how we're pulling it up in between the layers. Alright, now that we have that done, let's see what it tells us to do. We've still got our loop, we're in good shape. We've pulled it up in between the layers. Let's see, we pulled it through the loop. Okay, here we are, pull it up in between the leathers. Step 18. 2 empty slits should appear on the front side, 1 on the back. Alright, so we have 2 on the front side and 1 on the back. Alright, let's continue. Where were we? Alright, step 18. Go to step 19 now. Now it says to cut the end of the lace. It pulled out and tuck it in between the leathers through the next slit. And that's exactly what I do. If you cut this too short, then the more this flexes, the more it gives over time and stuff like that. If you cut this piece too short, then it's going to want to pull out. And we don't want to do that. So I've got another modeling tool that has some smaller spoons on it. What I'll do is I'll take my big one or my little one, whichever one works best. And we'll want to just tuck it down inside. I can cut that off just a little bit though. I don't need that much. Well, let's trim just a little bit off of it. Alright, now we're going to tuck this piece down inside. And I try to work it with my fingers and get it flat and smooth on the inside in there. Alright, so we got that done. What that'll do is it'll hold that lace in there now. You don't have to worry about it. What I do too is I try to pick a spot, especially on wallets. I don't start or finish around a corner, nor do I start or finish around the fold. This is where all of the activity is going to be on it. And then two, I'll usually pick a spot along the bottom edge of it. That's where I'll start and finish, because all of your hand traffic's going to be up here on this top edge. So I try to get it in the spot where the least amount of handling's going to be. That way it'll last a long time. Alright, so we've got that done. It's tacked in, or it's tucked inside. We were on 19, I think it was. Tuck between the lace through the nearest slit. Alright, now tuck, and then tuck the end between the leathers, which we just did. And actually, you know what? Yeah, we just tucked it down between the leathers. Alright, now, so we're going to take our needle, and it says to carefully cross over as shown and push the needle down through the loop. Alright, we're going to do that. You see how we're starting to close our gap up here now. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come through our single hole on the back side. Now remember, we only got one hole back here. So we're going to come all the way through. Like so. And we're going to come back up through our loop, like so. And then now, what we're going to do is where we pulled that back lace through only one side of it. Now we're going to come up through the front hole into your back. Only this time you're coming up in between them. Or you're going to attempt to. I'll take my modeling spoon and see if I can't create me a little bit of an opening here. Now that I've got a video on this, and if I keep forgetting, then I can go back and watch the video. Come on, separate the layer. There we go. And then we'll pull it through.
Okay.
Front side. And there's how you terminate a double loop stitch. And you'll come in and actually I think I should have gone no, that's right. We'll go into our next hole like that right there. It just looks weird because the stitches are still loose. Anyway, over time that'll all settle in. And then on the back of it, you can come in then. What I like to do is I'll come in under about 2 or 3 of them. It's just my preference. I don't like having want something to hang on to that lace and stuff. Maybe it's just all the years that I've been working around livestock gear and stuff. But I'll come in under maybe 2 or 3 of those loops. And then I'll just pull it down like that. On the inside, it's not going to be seen that well. But there you go. There's your double loop stitch terminated. I'm not real happy with that yet. I may try to work that a little bit more. Get it to where it looks a little bit more uniform. But anyway, there you go. I'll work with that a little bit more and get it to lay in a little bit better. I don't really like the way that looks, but that's it according to those instructions. So anyway, I hope that helps. And you beginners and stuff out there. And then you come in with a X-Acto blade, you just come in and trim it off. But beginners and folks like that out there, I hope that helps you. And I know those instructions are not all that clear, but hopefully that'll work for you. Hopefully that'll answer your question on how I do it. And 65 years old, maybe this may be my last wallet, I don't know. We'll have to see. But anyway, that's it for this one, and I just wanted to answer his question and demonstrate how to do it. But that's how I terminate a double loop stitch. So with that, as always, Judy and I like to end. Don't be mean. If you're not willing to treat Jesus that way, then let's not treat each other that way. We're here to have fun, learn some things, trade ideas, and make some stuff out of leather. So we'll see if this one makes it 26 years, then I may not even remember how to do any of it by that time. But anyway, hopefully one of you younger folks will be willing to take it over by that time. That's what I'd love to see. Be able to pass it on to someone else. So anyway, there it is. There's your double loop stitch ended. So with that, until next time, adios.